Hello, and welcome to this interactive webinar on problem behaviors, function, and intervention. My name is Blake Crosby. I'm a board-certified behavior analyst. I work with ABX Solutions in Charleston, South Carolina. You can visit us online at www.abxsolutions.org. So today we're going to be discussing problem behaviors. So as an ABA professional, or as a parent of a child with special needs, or even a parent of a typically developing child, you probably already know the devastating effect that problem behaviors can have on a family's quality of life. For example, poor academic performance. If a child is engaging in problem behaviors at school, it's highly likely that the child is being removed from the classroom as a result of these problem behaviors, and his or her grades are likely to suffer as a consequence. Also, social isolation. One of the tragedies of problem behavior is that oftentimes people will engage in problem behavior in order to gain attention. However, oftentimes the opposite of this happens, as the problem behavior will isolate the child from his or her peers. And stress on the family. If a child is using problem behaviors to communicate his wants and needs, this can be very stressful for the family if they don't have a systematic way of dealing with this problem behavior and teaching a more appropriate behavior to replace that problem. So these are just a couple of examples of how problem behaviors can affect quality of life. So what are we going to do about it? Our objectives for today are to define problem behavior, determine the function of a specific problem behavior, and select an appropriate intervention for problem behavior based on its function. Now, before we get on to this training, there are a couple of prerequisite skills that you need to have in order to get the most out of the training. Number one, you need to understand the ABC paradigm. This is the backbone of applied behavior analysis. You need to understand antecedents, behavior, and consequences, and how these three things interrelate. Specifically, you need to understand the different types of consequences, so reinforcement and punishment, and how those affect behavior. And finally, you need to have a working knowledge of data collection and also data interpretation. So, in order to help you decide if this training is appropriate for you, we have a 5-question screening tool that will let you see if you need to go back and brush up on some of the basics of ABA, or if you're ready to dive right into the training. If you score 80% or higher, you can proceed to the next video. If you score below 80%, we strongly recommend that you gain the necessary prerequisite skills before you continue with this training.